Hello everyone, this is Gene and I'm back with an impromptu video. No camera because I am not camera ready. But as you can see by the profile picture, that is indeed an actual picture of myself, and I honestly don't look too different today than I do in that picture. Right? But and plus there are always more than enough video of me with the camera on so you can easily figure out what I look like. Not a disclaimer I would usually put in a video, but I'm going to explain why in this. Because this individual has been trolling me for the past few minutes now. More or less questioning my blackness, questioning whether or not I'm a black woman. I'm not, I'm biracial. I've always been very honest about that. But I want to just briefly highlight this because while this individual is no doubt just a troll, I checked their profile. They literally have 2 followers. And while I generally don't like to judge an account by followers, especially if the followers are low, because I'm not a large account, right? And everybody starts out with like 0 followers. But given the tweets and given that he only has all of 2 followers, it's almost certain that this individual is just a troll or just a bot account. And apparently, from best I can tell, this individual is upset with me because I commented in another separate post about Hassan Nabi, saying that I do not agree with CRT, that is critical race theory, and that I personally view CRT to be blaming whites for all the problems in the world and not an actual nuanced discussion of history. And I've gotten some agreement on that post, and I've gotten some pushback, as you expect, especially on a hellscape that is Twitter. But here's the interesting thing. This individual is one of the ones to opine, and we had a little conversation. I thought it was more or less respectful, even though obviously we are of very different opinions. But then suddenly, as you can see, not too long ago, right? It's what, 1:19. This is it's about what, 2:20 right now as I'm recording. It's about an hour ago. This individual starts out with this tweet here. With just a little observation, this is not a black woman running this account. So now I'm not black. I'm not black, right? And to be fair, I have responded to several of the tweets. I'm not showing the responses here because then the tabs would literally go all across the page and just slow it down. But I will link to, I will put links in the description so that if you're interested, you can look for yourself and see what he said. I'm assuming this is a guy, given by the picture, right? What he said and what I said and what others have said and what not. I'm just sort of trying to keep brief here due to not wanting to crash crash the system while I'm recording, right? So we have this. So my blackness is called into question all because I don't believe in things like CRT or institutional racism, right? At least as these things are typically defined, right? So instead of having a conversation, let's just say Jean isn't really what she says she is, although I literally share pictures of myself all the damn time. I've always used my actual name. So it's like I have never hidden behind an avatar or a fake name. Not that I think that doing such a thing is bad to do. Many people do it for the anonymity, and I think that's fine, right? I'm not going to judge somebody because they don't want their actual name and face out there. I'm one of the crazy fools who's willing to use their actual name and face and say, "Hey, here I am," right? Because I'm that dumb. But apparently, I'm not really who I say I am. Okay, whatever you say. I never claimed to be black. I have said in several videos I am biracial. I literally made a tweet about something else saying that I was the daughter of slaves and savages. That right there tells you that I'm not fully black. I have never claimed to be fully black. I don't even mention my race in my profile. I mention my gender, but I don't mention race because it doesn't freaking matter. And honestly, the only reason I mention gender is because I have a unisex name. So I want people to understand I am a female, right? The funny thing is that people talk about pronouns in bio, and I'm like, but I did the same thing, but nobody criticizes me. But whatever, right? But this is it. I am what I am. But apparently, I'm not really a black woman because I don't share his opinions. Leave it to a man to tell a woman what she is and is not, right? Or at least leave it to a sexist man, I should say, because it isn't all men. It wouldn't be fair to lump them all in. But leave it to a sexist man to tell a black woman what she is and is not. He sounds a lot like Joe Biden right now. Right, and then we have this one. Stop pretending to be a black woman or a Latina. I'm probably an honorary Latina because I work in a Latino dominant institution, right? A Latino dominant college where like white people and Asians are like in short supply. I know this because every time we have a job search, it's like, do we have any white people or Asian people willing to serve on the search committee? That's how few we have where I work. It's predominantly blacks and Latinos or Afro Caribbeans and stuff like that. So I'm probably an honorary Latina, at least there, because I've been there for 10 years. I'm one of the few folks who's like a been there a long time, right? And I've had a Asian supervisor there. Interestingly enough, I've had two white supervisors, one Jewish, one Italian, and my current supervisor is a black woman. But yeah, I'm pretending. I'm pretending. I'm such a good actress that I can pretend to be myself. But okay. But okay. Again, he can't accept that I, as a black woman, do not believe in or play to the oppression narrative, but apparently I'm just a pretender. I'm the great pretender. I'm pretending so much I was literally just born this way. I don't have to work to actually be as dark as I am because, well, I was just born this way and I consume a lot of chocolate. And just wait, I'm gonna get darker as the months go on because summer. I tan hard in the summer, and I honestly try not to. Like I'll still wear like long sleeves and whatnot, but I will still get a tan, because New York summers are hot as hell, right? But apparently I'm just pretending. I'm I, I'm just a work of fiction apparently. Ask my mother, who spent hours upon hours in labor giving birth to me, whether or not I'm a fake. But okay. And then we have this one, right? Where I acknowledge freely that I am uh, biracial, and that this person calls me a coon. And there you have it, right? There you have it. A black person does not call another black person a coon unless they themselves are so insecure about what they think and what they believe that they must shame you for not agreeing with them. Now, again, this individual is no doubt just trying to troll me and get attention. Well, here is your attention, sir. Hundreds of people across two platforms get to see just how dumb you are. But this type of mindset is what holds the black community collectively down and holds us back. We spend so much time shaming each other for not following the party line. We spend so much time villainizing and demonizing people who think differently. How dare you be black and have conservative values? How dare you be black and be a Republican or be a libertarian or be apolitical like I am? How dare you be anything but what we as a collective have embraced, even if what we have embraced as a collective has hurt us more than helped us over the decades? How dare you be anything different than what we tell you to be? You see, remember that episode of Fresh Prince where the frat leader gets on Carlton, right? and says that he isn't really black because because he comes from a privileged family. This is that guy. This is that guy who's gonna call you names, who's gonna call you a slur. This says called me a coon, right? It's basically calling me a house nigger, right? I get called a coon because I don't think the way he does, not because I've said anything that is actually harmful or insulting to the black community or even insulting to him, but because I don't share his views, because I don't play into the oppression narrative, because I've seen what the oppression narrative does to individuals, both collectively and individually. It holds you down, it tears you apart, it is not uplifting. I'm not saying that there's no problems or no racial issues or tensions in America. Sadly, there'll always be, because humans are humans and humans are dumb. And we divide ourselves over very dumb things, as he is proving right now with these very insulting tweets. But he has to try to shame me to get in line, right? He has to try to shame me because he. Here's the thing, for everything he tells about me, he probably feels the same thing, but even worse, right? It's clear projection, in my personal opinion. And of course, and again, for the sake of brevity, I'm not showing them. But there are many other tweets he has sent me, and I've responded, and other people in my audience have responded and whatnot, to the point where a few of them are like, Gene, just block him, just block him. I hear you guys, believe me. Um, he will get in trouble. Let's just put it that way. But yeah, this is the type of thing you have to deal with as a black woman on Twitter when a insecure black man who is not secure in his opinions, who's not secure in his identity, sees you and sees how secure you are. So he must try to get you back in line. Men like this guy, and I want to be clear, it's not all men, it's certainly not all black men. I have known plenty of black men throughout my life. Most of them are wonderful, upstanding individuals. But the toxic ones like this guy, these are the ones where women go and date white dudes because of him. Someone, I think it was AJ, even pointed out, it's like he was like a white dude would probably treat Gene better than you would. And AJ's absolutely right, because I've known plenty of white dudes throughout my life. My closest friend growing up for over a decade was a Sicilian boy named Alan. Our friendship fell apart, unfortunately, as we got older, but for the time where we were friends, he was the closest thing. I loved him like he was my second brother. There was my natural brother, Jesse, and then there was him. If you asked me back then how many brothers I had, I said 2. Alan and I were not that close because of our skin tones or our genders. We were completely different in that way. We got to know each other and we became friends because we were fans of pro wrestling, WCW at the time. And even though our friendship fell apart as we became adults and we went different ways in life and we had disagreements, unfortunately, that tore our friendship apart, wherever he is now, I sincerely hope he's doing well because I still love him. I love him as a brother, I love him as a friend, and even though we don't talk, I sincerely wish him well. I do. So yeah, white men have treated me better than black men like this. And I've known black men, Asian men, Hispanic men, women, other individuals who have treated me much better in my life than this individual, because this individual is an insecure coward. This individual is an insecure coward. He's insecure in himself. So instead of dealing with his own issues, he decides to lash out at me because, well, I can take it, right? I'm strong enough to endure his impotent rage. Nothing new on Twitter, but it is sad because his type of mindset is what holds the black community collectively down. His mindset is what leads to things like CRT. His mindset is what leads to things like it's gonna be all white, where you spend more time lashing out at the outside world. It's the white man's fault. It's the Asian man's fault. It's this person's fault. It's that person's fault. Instead of realizing that no, your issues start at home. Your issues start at home. Your issues start inside. This man needs healing. This man needs Jesus. He don't need me though. Let him find Jesus some other way, but not through me. But seriously, while I find this man's comments toward me insulting and reviling, right? I sincerely hope that he does find help, because even though while he's no doubt just trolling, just trying to get under my skin, and to be fair, he has gotten my attention enough for me to dedicate, what is it now, about 15, 16 minutes toward his foolishness, right? He needs help. He needs help, right? Maybe one day he will heal enough inside to understand that hatred, right, or trying to shame people, not for anything they actually did wrong, but just because they don't think differently, or rather they do think differently than you, is not what's gonna help anybody or any community. And quite frankly, it's not the type of game I want to play. I'm not interested in insulting people for the most part, believe it or not. I know I've sort of, taken shots at this guy, but he started it. But I'm not here for all that. His type of toxic mindset is what has kept people of my background, coming from a poor neighborhood, coming from a historically disadvantaged, right, minority groups, 3 at least, female, black, native. Mindsets like this are what keep us held down more than what any racist white man could ever do. We hurt ourselves with this type of mindset more than anyone else ever could. The majority of the wounds are self-inflicted. And that's what holds us down more than anything. So, to him and to others who share this mindset, stop blaming everyone else for your problems. Even stop blaming the racist white man, because guess what? Most racist whites don't have collective power anymore, unless they're in politics. But guess what? It would not surprise me one bit, right? I don't know who he voted for, but let's just say that it would not surprise me one bit if he voted for the current sitting president. An old white man who has had connections to the KKK, who has passed the '94 crime bill, which to many, hurt the black community because of how it criminalized certain activities, especially regarding drugs and whatnot. And the same guy who told other blacks, him being a white man, Biden being a white man, telling black people, that if you don't vote for him, you ain't black. The same guy who was high-key accused of racism by Kamala Harris, his own VP, when they were both fighting for the Democratic nomination. Apparently, she's not a sellout, and he's not a racist, but I'm a coon because I dare to think for myself. Well, better to be a coon with a mind of my own than, well, a slave like he is. Better to be a free coon than a mentally enslaved fool like he is, and like those who think like him are, who cannot tolerate a dissenting opinion are. So you know what? You want to call me a coon? Fine. I'll wear it with pride. I've been called a coon, I've been called a nigger, I've been called an Injun, I've been called a half-breed, a mutt, and everything else. I've been called a bitch, I've been called plenty of things in my life. I've learned how to take insults pretty well. But I'd rather be all these terrible things and free and mentally free than to be mentally enslaved. Mental enslavement is worse than physical enslavement in many ways. Because at least if you're physically enslaved, you want to be free. You want out. You want to break out. When you're mentally enslaved, the chains aren't even attached, but you intentionally keep them on because you don't have the strength to actually examine your beliefs and ask yourself if they make sense or not, if they're true or not. When you're mentally enslaved, more often than not, you are intentionally, willingly enslaved. And when you see someone who is free, it makes you angry. It makes you gnash your teeth because you can't stand to see somebody who thinks different than you, someone who's actually free. So you can be an enslaved person. I'll be a free-thinking coon. And I'll keep being a free-thinking coon until the day I no longer draw breath and my brain stops functioning. But until then, this coon will continue to voice her opinions whenever she likes, however she likes. But anyway, that's the video. Please let me know what you think, and I will see you all in the next one. Have a good day or night, wherever you are. Bye-bye.